going to be discussing a winning essay and how you can write an academic essay or report in 3 steps. So, I'm going to give you the 3 secrets to how you can successfully ace any essay or any assessment you are writing in your university. So, the first thing you got to do is obviously give us a like here at BEEVARSITY, the Center for Useful Knowledge, because today we're going to show you 3 main steps how you will be able to um, become great at writing academic essays. So, what do you need to do? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you have to learn how to research. So, we're going to teach you good research methods, the first step. The second step is the write up method. And the third step is the submission method, or as we call it, the quality maintenance method. So, the first thing we go into is step one. So, step one, the research method. Now, the research method is all about the foundational process. How are you going to make sure that you have got your assignment brief? How are you going to make sure that whatever you need to do has is going to come out as quality? Now, what you have to do is you have to set a goal. And your goal is you have to decide, do you want to get an A? Do you want to get a B? What exactly do you plan to get in your assessment? And then you have to sit down and brainstorm that. So we're basically giving you the tools. So if you had to write something about ethics, for instance, you will brainstorm. You look at all the elements of it, all the branches. So if you're looking at ethics, what are the branches in business? What are you writing about integrity, about responsibility, about credibility? You have to look at all the keywords that would make you write something successfully. So that is the research method foundational process. That is step one. It's broken down into these. So you will study the brief, you will look at the grading criteria rubric. You have to now decide which grade you want. As we said, do you want an A? Do you want a B? You have to break this down into title keywords. And then these keywords, you will now determine what are you going to collect. You're going to collect qualitative data, words, pictures, videos, observations, images, or quantitative data, statistics, chats, graphs, numbers. You have to gather all these textbooks, 4-star journals. I usually say for every keyword in the title, you have to get at least 10 quality journals per keyword. And then with that, you'll be able to study the journal, look at the abstract, read the introduction, read the conclusion, and then look at the reference list. That is how you get more resources. You also, point five, look at the core subject authors in your field. Every subject has got a core author. You have to look for their material and cite it. Management has got Drucker, entrepreneurship, Schumpeter, and everything else. Belvin, leadership, Goldman, and project management. Um, so you have to look for the key industry um, data. You have to look at statistics. You have to look at sources. And I always say, because this is an academic paper, mostly university or college or even a secondary school, you have to write about the core authors, their chains of thought. So, number six, what are the viewpoints these core authors are putting forward? But also remember that we're asking for critical analysis. Critical analysis is the ability to write the good perspectives, the pros and the cons. So you have to be able to, number eight, have disagreements. Look at which authors disagree with the viewpoints of whatever framework you have decided to write about. So you have to put together all the frameworks you're going to write about. Number seven. Um, and then number nine, you have to get together your case studies, your real case studies. You have to get together all the images, the figures, for instance, the figure of a case study, the image of, let's say, Goldman's leadership style, if that's the framework you want to use for leadership, and then what statistics, what tables you're going to be using, and then all your citations and your referencing, and make sure it's all in one style. So if your university or your institution wants to have its style referencing, stick to that, please. So remember, the foundation stage is about your data sources. Get together all your sources, get together all your case studies, get together your frameworks, get together your viewpoints, your images, your figures, and then you will successfully move to step two. And what is step two? Um, Step two is all about writing up. So you are now at the write-up stage. That is the stage in which you have to realize the structure. Remember, this write-up method stage, which is the structure process, is similar in most parts of the world. You will have a title page, a cover page, an abstract or executive summary, a table of content, a list of tables, a list of figures, some abbreviations, and obviously, you have an introduction, a main body, a conclusion, and then the reference list and appendices. So, what should you know, first of all, when you're writing? Your writing up stage is all about you writing analytically, not descriptive. You cannot state anything as well that is not cited in any academic paper. So remember, you have to write analytical, and everything you say must be cited. How do you know you're writing descriptive? Well, that image up there tells you that descriptive writing has no citation, it has no evidences. Analytical writing has evidences, it has citations, and it has critical evaluation. Reflective writing, sometimes you have a reflective essay where it asks for a personal thought and then you can write your opinion. Otherwise, do not write your opinion if you're only being analytical, write in the third person throughout, and that is what is expected. So, in the introduction, what should you have in your introduction? Tell us what you're going to tell us. Have a general introduction, a thesis statement, and an overview of the main points. We have to know what you're going to write about. Do not write 20 pages, 10 pages, 5 pages, 3 pages without letting us know in at least 2 paragraphs, at least, what you are going to write or what this thesis is going to be writing about, or sorry, not thesis, this essay or what this assessment is going to be about. So, the first thing you're going to do is make an intelligent, engaging, factual statement about the topic. You have to make it something that will grab attention. Be brief, if there's any definitions, use any defining things, use the textbook. Talk about, at least define one of the keywords. And then your thesis statement is just something that makes the content manageable. So, what's the significance of the essay or the assessment or the report? And that's what you need to write. What is it about? How are you going to discuss it? What's the central foundation of the essay? We need to know here. What's the problem statement? It needs to be clear, it needs to be concise, and you need to basically write that in one or two statements. And the last paragraph should obviously just write an overall structure of what we should expect in the body. So if it's keywords, if it's frameworks, it needs to be there. Whatever the concept is. So just tell us what you're going to tell us. That is all we need to know in the introduction section. This is an example. an introduction about a topic about digital transformation. For instance, you would say something like digital transformation has fundamentally changed the way businesses operate over the past decade. Digital transformation is the process of leveraging digital technologies such as cloud computing, big data analytics, the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, and other things to create business models, products, and services. Then you cite all your sources. The transport industry has undergone severe disruption over the last 3 years, including increased innovative competition. And then you're now going to end, like I said forward. This paper explores digital disruption and transformation within the automobile industry, the drivers, challenges, risk, change, and leadership implications, utilizing agile lending frameworks, Belbin's team rules, Tuckman and Jensen's group formation model, the ADCAR framework, and Goldman's leadership style. This is a brief. You need to proofread yours, obviously. What I just saw there is the first two statements talk about digital transformation, digital transformation. It's a bit too lengthy. So if you can say something in shorter words, please do. But this is a brief example of how you could write um, an introduction that obviously, as we said before, gives a general introduction, yeah, gives you a thesis statement and an overview of the main points. So, what do you now do next? You now go into the body of the essay or the academic report. So now you're going to tell us what you're going to tell us. So tell us in relevant paragraph subject titles. Claim one, what's the point? What's the evidence? What's the critical analysis related to the topic? You have to give a core argument addressing the thesis statement and the key points. You have to give supportive evidence to support your key argument. It could be in the form of statistics, case studies, paraphrasing of viewpoints from core authors. It could be framework, which you can show graphically. Just make sure that at the end of it, there's a good transition that is convincing and elaborates the relationship between the core argument and supportive evidence or the thesis statement. It needs to be clear, it needs to be a transition while you move on to the claim. So, for instance, if you are writing about, let's say, your next topic is about, or for one of the topics for the body would be digital agile framework. You could say the agile framework is a project management methodology that emphasizes collaboration, flexibility, and rapid iteration. Digital Agile is a framework that applies the principles of Agile to digital transformation initiatives. The multinational conglomerate GE, General Electric, adopted Agile principle to manage its software development initiatives. For instance, its Agile Predict platform is an industrial Internet of Things platform that enables customers to collect and analyze data from industrial equipment. And then give us sources. Furthermore, GE uses Scrum and Kanban, two agile frameworks that emphasize collaboration and visual management to manage its software development initiative. So you got to think about that. Now, there's a bit of repetitive words in there. That is the weakness of that whole statement there. But you will have to write in a more straightforward way, and that will be great. Okay, so what about that? You can have a look at that. That's another way, another topic where you go transformative initiatives through digital lean framework. You say digital lean framework is a framework that applies principles of lean to digital transformation initiatives according to Project Management Institute. I give some statistics here. 71% of organizations are using agile approaches in their project management practices. The Lean framework as a project management method emphasizes waste reduction, continuous improvement, and many uncompetitive companies are unable to effectively operate lean structures. For instance, and you're giving us this example, that's brain critical. Now, you've said it's good, you're also giving us an example of maybe an author that does not feel that this framework is fantastic. So you now go ahead. You might say, however, Vision 1 found 95% of organizations adopt Agile adopt Agile successfully or do adopt Agile successfully. You can go into the real life example or case study where, say, Toyota adopted lean principles to improve its manufacturing processes. It uses Kanban, and then you can refer to Figure 1, Figure 2, Figure 3, a lean framework that emphasizes visual management and continuous flow to manage its production lines. Toyota also applied lean process to its product development processes via a procedure termed A3 thinking, and they use that to solve problems and improve workflows. And then you might want to go into maybe another paragraph where you'd say ADKAR change framework is a change management methodology focused on the individual's ability to change. However, then you might come into critical evaluation here. Jack 2030 found that ADKAR is limited when more complex change is required. Nevertheless, a Gallup 2025 poll stated that using ADKAR, companies with high employee engagement levels are 21% more profitable than companies with low employee engagement levels. And additionally, Prosky 2023 found that using ADKAR, companies are 3.5 times more likely to achieve their desired outcomes than companies that do not use the model. So you now say the ADKAR framework, and then you might refer to it. Figure 4, which is ADKAR change framework in IBM, shows the 5 stages demonstrating how tech giant International Business Machines Company IBM navigated digital changes through its process of awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. IBM used AdCard to implement a new sales strategy that focused on selling cloud solutions. Um, and then you might go into use that to identify potential obstacles to the change and developing strategies to overcome these obstacles. ADKAR model process assess. IBM used it to assess the sales management team readiness for change and developing a targeted change management plan. So this is what you should do. You should now show us maybe something like Figure 4 ADKAR, change framework in IBM, and then you might want to give more examples. You say, furthermore, Ford used ADKAR change model to implement a new quality management system by identifying key stakeholders who would be affected by related change. And this information was useful to develop a targeted communication training plans, which was implemented effectively with the employees able to adapt to the new system. And that's what you need to do. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is an example of talking about Ford Motors. And then you can now go to the end. So you have ensured in the body of your work critical review of claims, you have shown models, you have shown analytical case studies and statistics, they're all cited. You have ensured, you have shown us the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic viewpoints. And then you now conclude. You tell us what you're going to tell us. You just tell us what you just told us. So you repeat the thesis statement to remind us what the key objectives of the paper is. Do not bring any new arguments or examples in the conclusion. Sometimes we see that where there's nothing mentioned in the body of the work, but then some students will now bring that in the conclusion, which is wrong. A conclusion is only a summary of what you have discussed already. So you recap the uh, key points, insights, implications, and recommend. And tell us at least one caveat associated with your recommendation. You now close. Hopefully, you close with a good positive statement, a memorable one, because you want to leave your reader in positive frame of mind. So, an example of a conclusion would be any of these. Would be something like the Goldman leadership style and outcome chain framework are two methodologies that can help leaders to lead high performance teams and manage change effectively. By adopting an emotionally intelligent leadership style and focusing on the individual's ability to change, leaders can create a culture of engagement and innovation. The case studies and statistics provided in this essay illustrate how IBM, Ford, whoever successfully applied. And then you talk about how organizations must be willing to invest in their people and whatever it is. Um, or you can go with conclusion and recommendation. For instance, you say digital disruption has created new opportunities and challenges for businesses and leaders who must be able to navigate the new environment to succeed. A strategy for digital disruption must take into account market and customer insights, agility, innovation, collaboration. Leaders must be able to sense change, make informed decisions, lead change, transform, create digital ready cultures, lead high performance teams, adopt an ethical, technical tech leadership style, and by adopting strategies and models, leaders can successfully lead their organizations through digital disruption and thrive in the digital age. So, you have now told us what you're going to tell us. You have in the body of the work, tell us what you're going to tell us in the introduction, tell us what you said you were going to tell us in the body of the work with all these examples, and then in the conclusion, tell us what you just told us you would tell us. And then you now move into the reference list, which should have everything you've cited in the body of your work, the qualitative data, the quantitative data, all the words, the pictures, the images, the figures, the videos, the observations, same thing, the statistics, the figures, the numbers. You should obviously have your reference list, the author, the date, the title, the publisher. Then you should include all your sources that's cited in the body of the work, everything that's been done. It's all in one style. Obviously, compile it, proofread it, finalize it in one style. If it's Harvard style, sticks to Harvard. If it's AP, if it's Chicago, whatever style, stick to it, please. All your sources should be listed in alphabetical order. Use mostly four-star journals and textbooks um, or good industry sites. Do not use um, sources that in the academic circles are not considered peer-reviewed or high quality. Use a mixture of sources from different years. Make sure that you do cite sources from the last 3 years as well. All your long tables and images and statistics should be in the appendices. So we now go to step 3. Step 3 is now your submission method or your quality maintenance method. Quality maintenance method is where you now cross-check everything. You cross-check your quality, you submit on time, you reflect on what you on the whole process really. So you check your keywords, you check your paper for all the keywords that you have covered all the keywords. You check the marking rubric and the criteria that you've covered everything that the school asks you to. You complete all your in-text citations, you complete your reference list all in one style. You check the format and the font of your paper. Believe you me, there are sometimes when you will see some people write their paper in different fonts. It is kind of confusing, Write in one font, please. Make sure your references in alphabetical order. Edit everything. Make sure you have done your grammar check, proofread it. Make sure the structure is neat. Submit your paper on time. But before you do that, please put it as a draft and turn it in. And if the similarity is too high, let's see, for instance, more than 15%, take it down, paraphrase, rephrase, synonym, and submit on time. Submit before the due date, maybe the last day everyone's trying to submit, and there might be errors when it comes to submitting. If you don't submit, you might fail. We don't want that, so submit on time. Receive your grade after. Think about it. Does it match what your aim was? Were you going for an A or a B? Did you get it? Reflect on what was good about your essay, what was bad about it, and what could be done better, and then continue to improve given the feedback or your own self evaluation. Keep on being calm, please, be diligent, keep on improving your quality, just get better incrementally, and you will become a winner. So remember the 3 steps to a winning academic essay or a winning academic assessment is make sure you have your research method top notch, your write up method structured, your quality maintenance method all done competently, and you will become a winner. So, good luck as you write your assessment. I wish you the very best. If you need any support, you can contact us at beevarsity.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you do want more coaching, you can get in touch with us. Um, we will not write for you, but we can advise you how to write better, look at your work. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful assessment. Good luck as you write. Don't forget to like if this has been of value to you. Thank you. Bye.